Alrighty, very good. We are back again to talk about The Big Sleep and Farewell, My Lovely. Philip Marlowe as portrayed by Robert Mitchum in two neo-noir remakes of previously adapted works.
Hmm.
F.R. Jameson, please tell us what you'd like about these movies as a kind of summation, if you
Well,
will.
normally I do a plot point, but given there's
Normally,
two of them,
yes.
and we've done both of these films, well, both of these stories before, um, and also, I mean, of the films, the Chandler adaptations we've watched thus far, and I realise we're still three to go. These are the most faithful two, aren't they, so far?
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I feel,
Absolutely.
yeah, these are clearly. So if you know either book, these films, which I feel are seen as kind of curios
Hmm.
rather than sort of essential work, which is a shame in a way. I thought
It is.
they're both better than their reputation suggests. And they're also the last two big screen adaptations of Raymond Chandler novels, which
Mm.
Liam Neeson does play Philip Marlowe afterwards, but that's in an adaptation of a different one. As
Yes.
James Caan plays him on TV, the TV movie, which I'm not too fussed about watching. But these are the last two adaptations of Raymond Chandler novels. And even the newest of these is nearly 50 years old, which shows how long it's been.
Been a while. Maybe we
Yes.
need another adaptation or another
So
twist
did
on
you?
the old formula.
Yes. So did you enjoy these?
I did actually. I it's funny. I don't remember how old I was when I watched the remake of The Big Sleep with Robert Mitchum. But I remember reacting like probably from the first shot, thinking, wait a minute, this doesn't look like a film noir. We're out in the middle of the freaking country and going down the longest driveway in the world to this house that's not quite as big as Buckingham Palace, right? So,
Yes.
okay, so yeah, I get it now. Okay, he's going to see General Sternwood in this place, but boy, this looks so different. I think that's the reason so many people reacted the way they did to this movie. I think it just did not look to them like a film noir or a neo-noir even. It was just
Just
it seemed non-Chandleresque somehow because it lacked that darkness and the LA-ness of it. Which to me, okay, just don't even think about that. Just think about the fact that you're going to this really wealthy man's house, and the guy
Mhm.
says, he starts off with, the whole, I was in my suit, I was clean cut, and and I was meeting 10,000 or 10 million pounds. To which I wrote down sterling, pounds sterling, folks. Yeah,
Yes.
this is taking place in England. Okay,
Mhm.
it's different, but it's still more faithful to the novel
Yes.
plot-wise. And it actually makes sense this time to me. Oh, okay, so that's why they're so interested in Reagan. Okay,
Mhm.
now I get that part. Stuff like that. I mean, stuff that I was just like, okay, whatever, whoever. He wanted to drink with him. That seems like a pretty weak sort of motivation. I mean, he must have been a mighty special friend. Okay. I
Yes.
don't know, things that you couldn't talk about back then. There were lots of things in this movie that you couldn't talk about back then in movies. I
Mhm.
mean, like this crazy sister who is, you could see what was going to happen there at the end, of course. It's like he's not going to just give a gun to her, like that. I'm
Yes.
skipping ahead a bit, but presumably if you've seen this movie, you know what it's about. If you haven't seen it, you probably should, and you should read the book and do a comparison because you'll find that this makes much more sense than the other adaptation. Um, but anyway, you probably have an opinion as well on this. Please
Well, I'm going to go. So
feel
going into
free,
the second one first.
hold
There's a
forth.
big sleep. Yeah, the big sleep. Well, I said both these films are my monthly newsletter, and the most controversial opinion I seem to hold is that The Big Sleep is the better of these two films. And people
Hmm.
come back at me with, it's set in London, which, yes. I mean, one of the comments I read online was, the dialogue feels really odd in an English accent. And
Yeah.
it, I don't know if it does. It didn't seem to me. But the other problem that is held up in comparison to in regards to this film is odd it's because it's a sequel to a period piece, is that it's set in the present day. But
Hmm.
the Fairy Well My Lovely is the only until that point, the only Marlowe film that is set in the past. Long Goodbye is set in present day.
Hmm.
James Garner's Marlowe is set in present day.
Right.
Yeah, they all progress to now
Back before.
until the
Yeah.
Farewell My Lovely, until the one before. Now, I you know much about Michael Winner? Is Michael Winner someone who's ever on your radar?
Not really, no.
No, because if you were British, certainly if you're British over the age of 40, Michael Winner was a film director and a TV personality. There were adverts for insurance companies that Michael Winner appeared in on British TV because you
Huh.
knew who he was. He was a restaurant critic and a bon vivant and
Oh, wow.
this man who had directed Death Wish and various other things, but he was a media personality. So Michael Winner appears in a film, you know who he is,
Uh-huh.
which
Uh-huh.
which unlike Dick Richards, who directs Farewell My Lovely, is a bit of a hack. Now, Michael Winner isn't a good director. He's your kind of test case of he's clearly some kind of artist and that he has the same preoccupations. And he has a habit of making everything look quite cheap and seedy. And the thing is, the Big Sleep kind of matches what he's able, the palette he's bringing to the table, the Big Sleep is matching. Because it is a book about a pornographer, a
Hmm.
murder, and blackmail, and a young naked woman lugged out of her mind in a house. It's stuff when you break down what's in the Big Sleep. That it's actually a really exploitative novel.
Hmm. Yes,
But
it
because
is.
Chandler's such a classy writer, you don't necessarily realize just how much stuff is in there, can be slocky. And Michael Bringer brings the slop to it. In a
Hmm.
screenplay which he also wrote, which is really heavy on it's a lot of it is from the book. A lot of the dialogue is from the book, the
Yes.
voice over narration, it's
Yes.
very faithful. And my what I like it is kind of looser. There's a kind of watching them both this week. The Farewell My Lovely, they both have a lot of voiceover narration. The Farewell My Lovely one is very staid. It's very much feels like him reading. While the
Hmm.
one in the big sleep feels like he's speaking. There's a
Hmm.
very funny moment in Farewell My Lovely where he's at it like the Dick Powell version. It starts in media res. You're already in the action when the film starts, and Robert Mitchum starts telling the story in a hotel room to one of the cops. And when he starts telling it, it sounds like he's reading a book. He
Hmm.
goes,
Yes.
"Yeah, so
Yes.
I just come out of oblivion and this kind of that." And you
Yes.
can imagine a kind of Zucker brothers, Liam Neeson doing this, and someone just staring and going, "See, nobody speaks like this. What are you talking about?"
Yes, it is. I was going to say there was more voiceover in Farewell, My Lovely. I noticed
Yeah,
that. Very
yeah,
noticeable. Um, but I thought the way it was used in The Big Sleep was quite effective. I liked the way he
yeah,
opened with it. I liked the way he closed with
yeah,
talking about Sternwood. I
yeah,
mean, there seemed to be more heart to it.
yeah. And The
And
Farewell, My Lovely is a very interior film. There's not much of it that actually gets outside. It's a lot of people in sets, in rooms. You have the
Yes.
odd scene of a car pulls up on a street. I think I recognize the street from LA Confidential. I have a feeling it's the kind of this looks a bit periody sort of film. Whenever we need a periody type street. Um, yeah, it's a very staid, very interior film. I actually thought, it's made 3 years before The Big Sleep. I thought Mitchum looks older in Farewell My Lovely than he does in The Big Sleep. He looks
Yes,
more gaunt.
he
Um,
does.
yeah, he's more barrel-chested and rounded in The Big Sleep. So that takes away some of the grooves from his cheeks. Though apparently he saw The Big Sleep and immediately had plastic surgery as he was so appalled by how he looked.
Wow. Interesting. Well, I have to say, I don't know. I really enjoyed both versions. And I wonder if part of the reason that I like it more now is because I watch more British crime shows now
Yeah, yeah.
than I used to in the past.
Hmm.
I'm just wondering if that might be part of it.
It might be, yeah. I mean, I also feel that there's the supporting cast of The Big Sleep is Joan Collins, it's Oliver Reed, who both know exactly what their brief is. They both bring their own charisma and know exactly
Hmm.
what Oliver Reed can do his role of, I'm here to politely intimidate Robert Mitchum. He's
Yeah,
the
he could
guy
do
who
it
can
in his
actually do
sleep.
that. Yeah.
He just has this look to him, Oliver
Yeah.
Reed. Just that just kind of it's just creepy.
Yes. Yes.
He can just be creepy, just standing
Yeah.
there looking at you. Um,
And you have James Stewart as General Stonewood,
oh wow, he
who
looked
does
so
look
old.
amazingly helpful.
He looked amazing, but he also looked like he was really, really tired when in
Yes.
those scenes when he talked about how
Yes.
tired he was. I mean, I
Yeah.
could really believe him, you know. I was like, oh my God, he's about to die there. And I thought, oh, somehow he's more convincing than the guy was in the original.
Yes.
That guy looks like he's just an old guy
Yeah.
spouting lines compared to Jimmy Stewart. Maybe it's just because I know Jimmy Stewart so well. You know, I've seen so
Yeah.
many of his movies. It's like watching your grandfather grow old.
Yeah. I was thinking about this in comparison to the Howard Hawks film, and that I prefer. I mean, all right, Joan Collins' character is it's two scenes in the Howard Hawks
I
film,
love Joan Collins.
and
I just want to say.
yeah, and Joan Collins, Oliver Reed are both better cast than the Hawks film. Probably James Stewart is too, and I even liked was it Richard Booner's Camino is much
Uh-huh.
more memorable in this picture. And it's kind of like the strange alchemy that still makes the Howard Hawks film your absolute solid gold classic. Well, this is more. Anyway, don't want to say it's your strange cure at the end. It is better than that. But it's very much second tier compared to the Hawks. Despite the fact there are things I like in this Big Sleep more than I like in the Hawks one. It doesn't never hit those heights, even with those, even with Reed, Collins, Stewart. I notice I'm leaving out both films. I think both Big Sleep and Farewell My Lovely suffer from underwritten lead female roles or eccentric. I think the Charlotte Rampling is a very good actress. I don't
Oh yeah.
think she has any handle on what her character is supposed to be
Hmm.
because it isn't. It is, her and Mitchum are getting off with each other in their first scene, and I don't think she has. I mean, the character is so. This is a noir femme fatale and not a real person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Sarah Miles' character it's more. Um, Keith Carmen Sternwood. It's more closely related to the books. I think he is a better character, but she plays it so eccentrically.
Hmm. Yes,
She
she
has got a.
does.
This might
She's
be, and you might not
loopy.
notice this. but the first scene she's in, where she meets him in the house, and I thought this both times I've watched it now. In that first scene, is he doing an American accent? There seems something really odd with her accent in that scene alone. And the rest of the scene, it's all consistent. The rest of her scenes, it's all consistent. Well, that scene is like, going, oh, is she American as well? No, apparently not.
Very confusing. A bit of a
It
continuity
is,
error.
yes.
Are you American or what are you anyway? What kind
Well,
of accent is that? Trying to be
it did, you know,
Australian? No. Canadian? No. Um,
yeah, she's like the fourth character you meet. So Gordon Jackson's the butler, and that's fine. You know, man has an English butler. He's American. James Stewart's American. Robert Mitchum. He's sort of like, oh, maybe this is set in America.
yeah, there are a lot of Americans running around this place. What the heck's going on?
Yeah, it's
But,
such. It's such.
it's still more faithful to the book, weirdly enough. And
It is
it
is
just
very
makes more
faithful to the book.
sense. The whole thing makes
Yes.
more sense to me this time. It's like, okay, I can actually follow this movie instead of
Hmm.
just, okay, it's not just a ride and it's just not just atmosphere.
Yes.
Sometimes atmosphere is a big part of it when it comes to these movies.
Yeah.
And maybe the critics were looking for an atmosphere that wasn't there, or maybe it's because there's something jarring about listening to Chandler in a British accent. Hmm? Oh, I don't know.
And
Um,
I feel part of it like it now. If you look at it, it's like 1978 England, and that is the England of your page three girls. Paul Raymond, who was a famous, he owned a lot of topless bars in Soho. Um, it's the Confessions movies and that kind of very slap and tickle sex British comedy, which at the time you might not have noticed how pervasive that stuff was.
yeah,
And now looking
yeah.
at it for nearly 50 years later, go, no, this really fits in. The plot of pornography and so on really fits into the milieu
Ah,
of Britain at that point.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Really interesting. Yeah.
yeah. And but it's also, it's also pretty like the Brideshead Revisited TV series, like Claudius, are also around about the same time. So if you are a cultural critic at that moment, no, well, the best of British culture is all this. But when you come look at it later on, you're looking, but there's all these other things as well. It was this,
That's interesting.
that,
That
yeah,
makes me want to become a film historian and look into all these other cultures and what
yeah.
films developed and why. I love that sort of stuff. I could
Well,
probably
there's
go
a big
down a
30s
whole
boom.
internet rabbit
Yeah.
hole on this stuff.
Even big 30s boom in the 70s rather. So you have Chinatown, you have Billy Wilder's His Girl Friday, you have this kind of whole array of things set in the 30s. I think that's where the Farewell My Lovely adaptation, takes the seed comes from. It's
Hmm.
like, we'll make a proper noir film now in the 30s, and we'll get Robert Mitchum because he would, it's a kind of great, it's not a tragedy. It's a shame that Robert Mitchum didn't play Philip Marlowe like three times in the 50s. From these
Yeah.
two films here, which I like, it would have been great to see him do it three times the 50s. You have the Farewell My Lovely film, and it's successful enough. You get a sequel. Its first one's produced, if you know, it's by Jerry Bruckheimer of
Hmm.
80s, 90s box. There's one Pirates of the Caribbean and Farewell My Lovely, which they have one man with a sing on both. But it's successful enough you get a sequel. Apparently, Michael Winner didn't want to be compared to Bogart,
Hmm.
which is why he put his Big Sleep in London in the present day. That it does beg the question of why not just do the High Window or Lady in the Lake or a Little Sister. I mean, a long goodbye had been done. As I said, a long good Friday, which is a different film altogether. But a long
Yes,
goodbye
it is.
had been done earlier that decade, so you probably wouldn't choose that one. But there are other Philip Marlowe novels are available rather than just go to Big. I'm glad he did do this version of the Big Sleep, even if again it's not as good as the Hawks one. And I don't think the Fear of My Lovely is actually as good as Murder My Sweet either. But then Murder My
But for
Sweet
different
also is
reasons.
yeah, for different reasons. Yes.
It's like it all depends on what you want out of the film. It's like this was one director's vision, and here's another director's vision.
Yeah. Yes.
So, personally, I thought that this Farewell, My Lovely was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
Hmm.
I
I
I
liked it a
just
lot more this
like
time.
Mitchum, I think.
Yeah.
I like Mitchum a lot, and that helps a lot.
Yes.
So no matter whether he's reading the lines or reading the phone book, I probably would like it.
Mhm. You got
Um,
another Goose Malloy. I forget the actor's name, but he was
oh,
the
the
big
big guy,
guy in
yeah.
Superman 2. Yeah.
Yeah, the way he meets
Yeah.
Moose is so different than
Yeah.
it's very peculiar almost, like oh hey, I happened to see you do this thing. I need your help. He didn't look him up in the phone book. He didn't see the
Yes.
sign. It's not like that. It's very
Which
happenstance.
is which is very true to the book, though. Very
Hmm.
that which is what happens
But
in
it's
the
been a
book as
long
well.
time.
That
I
you
got to
know,
read
just
these books.
yeah.
I have to read these books that I'm watching the movies for, so that way I can do a comparison. But it's just, and then the other thing that got me was the, they're very blunt about the racism in this movie
They are, yes.
of the time, which is
Yes.
something you wouldn't have seen as obviously, I think, in an older version.
Well, we're kind of post late 60s
Yeah,
to the civil rights movement now, in
exactly.
1975.
Right.
Yeah.
That kind of thing was being
Yeah.
done in the movies quite a bit. So it
Yes.
updates the movie, even if it's set in a previous time. It updates the themes of the movie.
Yeah. Well, a
Um,
little boy that Mitchum feels very bad for,
very,
he
very,
deliberately,
yeah.
yeah. And it's a white, what is he, a trumpeter or saxophonist and black wife, and the child
Right,
is mixed race. And
right.
feels very bad that feels responsible for getting the dad killed.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really kind of adds something to the movie, I think.
It does, yeah.
Having that kid in there because Philip Marlowe is played more coldly when it comes to Jesse Florian than he is in this movie.
Yes.
He's a warmer character in general in this movie, even if
To
he
be
gets
fair,
into a lot of fist fights.
yeah, a lot of these now, if the character can be played quite wholly, and the cynicism be like a shield that stops emotion. And Mitchum doesn't play that. There is a warmth in both of these films to Mitchum,
Hmm.
like a kind of an approachability to him,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
quite which makes him a good. I mean, of the top three, I would have Bogart, Mitchum, and Marlowe, but both Mitchum and Garner, right? As as the kind of the three top. As maybe Elliot Gould will steal in there. I know The Long Goodbye is one of
Oh
your
yeah.
favourites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Long Goodbye. I'll have to give it another try. I mean, Elliot Gould, I love. I mean, I loved him.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I think there's a lot about the 60s that just triggers me in a bad way. I couldn't watch
We are
Mad
going to
Men, for instance. I could not watch that show. I watched a couple of
get okay.
episodes. I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I was done almost from the moment I started watching. Anyway, I could not warm up to that show at all. Let's see. What else can we talk about? as far as this movie is concerned. I do love some of those cultural references, like to the Yankees and the Senators. Couldn't help but love that one because the Senators used to be the DC baseball team. And
Well, I did wonder
and
though,
they
would
were.
Philip Marlowe be? Would Philip Marlowe in LA be a massive fan of the Yankees, or would that is
That's an
that?
interesting, yeah. See, that's the thing about the Yankees. At one time, they were considered America's team.
Yeah.
Um, and this Met fan says no. Even though I'm also a Nationals fan now. That's a very
Yeah.
confusing place to be, believe me.
Notice there's no
Especially
other
when,
country plays these sports, but it's amazing that any of them they're all equally America's team. No one else is playing, You and your
uh,
World Series, indeed.
well, feel free to join us. You guys want to play baseball? Come on over. We'll go over there. We're doing football over
Yeah,
there. Jeez.
yeah.
Apparently, football is huge. American football is big everywhere. I don't know. What do I know about this? Not much, really. I mean, I used to follow it, but it's like,
Yeah.
now it's all over the place.
I mean, the thing with DiMaggio, he's going for a run. If I understood
Hmm.
it correctly. He's going for a run and is stopped in the last game by somebody or other.
By
But
somebody or other,
I
right?
was trying to think after it. Is this tied to the plot of the film in DiMaggio flying so high and then being stopped? I couldn't. It almost felt like it should be something that's tied into the film. That it's not just background detail or character detail. That you're supposed to go, oh yeah, Marlowe has also now failed in
Was there
getting this stuff done.
something?
And it really does.
Did it come at like a certain point, like maybe three-fourths of the way through? I'm trying to think. Usually that's
I
when
don't
things
know.
start to look dire.
Yeah, I did. I suppose if he, you never really believe he and Charlotte Rampling are a couple or really have spark between them. And if you had that, maybe you'd say, he's got involved with this woman, and at the end, she's been killed. When DiMaggio's also failed, he's not found his soulmate. DiMaggio's also failed, but because you don't have that,
You didn't have that.
it almost feels like
Yeah.
yeah, it should be
Hmm.
something tied into the whole. This whole thing of DiMaggio's building up to get to this point and then fails at the last. I mean, it would be a good background detail in Chinatown, for example. That would be a that would fit in perfectly in Chinatown because
Hmm.
that almost would echo the plot of Chinatown, but he fails right at the end. But
Hmm. Yes, it does. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a great
but I
point.
don't think it. Yeah, it doesn't. If you come, I was thinking that's a good. And it might be because I just don't know the history. I don't know baseball, and I don't know the history of baseball. But there are nuances to what the radio announcer is saying. That,
That's a really good point because there's a lot
yeah,
I don't know
well,
about
I'm
the
just not.
history of baseball too.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm just not getting. It's just passing me by what this means.
Well,
But
this might have
yeah,
been really significant, I guess, to somebody, this whole
yeah,
streak,
yeah,
because I know locally there have been streaks in my area, just,
yeah,
with teams in my area where there have been done things crazy like promotional stunts done in
yeah,
connection with them. There was a guy,
yes,
the Orioles were going through a period where they were on fire and they were like unbeatable and they were
mm,
winning game after game after game.
yeah,
And this guy was on the radio saying, I'm going to be on the radio until they lose a game or something like that. I don't remember. I just remember he was on a streak of some sort, whether they
yeah.
were it was like constant winning and he was constantly on the air. And I thought, when does this madness end? What are you doing to yourself
Yeah,
in the name of a game? Um,
yeah.
Anyway, it was interesting and but it does there might have been something going on at that time that I just don't know that I
Yeah.
was happened before I was born. I don't know.
Just to remind me of my sort of, I think the favourite sequence in the film of My Lovely, which I don't think is in the book in that fashion, but he goes to the brothel and you have the
Yeah.
scary female madam, which is really well done.
That was a surprise. I
Yeah,
didn't know that
yeah,
Amthor was a woman. I was like, oh
yeah,
wow, and she's a madam. And geez, look at
yes,
the size of that mouth. She's got the mouth the size of Montana there
yeah.
on the big
And
screen. My my word.
one of the goons, who only has one line, and I don't think went on to anything, he goes to bed with her daughter, and it leads to a gunfight. And that
Oh,
goon is actually Sylvester Stallone.
yeah, I love the spot the future star moments. Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone, Harry Dean Stanton. Love that.
yes, yes. Well, Harry Dean Stanton was already kind of
Oh, he was
known
in there. Yeah,
character actor by this
he had
point.
been
Yeah,
active. True,
yeah,
true. Sylvester
yeah,
Stallone was truly a beginner at that point.
yeah.
As was who was it? It was Conan. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Long Goodbye.
He is. Yes, yes.
Yes, he plays
Or
a
Bruce
thug.
Lee in Marlowe.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are there are people who go on. Yeah, yeah.
There
Bruce Lee,
are.
Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger will all appearing the appearances in Philip Marlowe adaptations.
Who would end up being kind of like competitors in life in the entertainment
Yeah.
realm,
Yes.
in the action hero realm.
I don't think we have anyone like that. They're all kind of older in the Big Sleep. It has that kind
Yeah.
of tiredness. And just about to side because John Mills is a very old Met Police inspector. I thought, well, what is the retirement age over there at the Met? But one of my mother's favourite films is Ryan's Daughter, David Lean's Ryan's Daughter, with Sarah Miles, Robert Mitchum, and John Mills. So this is a kind of strange reunion for them.
Oh, wow. How
All come together
interesting.
again. Yeah,
There's a movie I've never seen. I've heard of it. Ryan's Daughter.
it's not great. If I don't
Not great.
much of
Okay.
it, no, but yeah, it
Okay.
is odd. And Sarah Miles, I think, gives quite
Odd.
a lot. I think you hired Sarah Miles knowing there would be a certain level of eccentricity, which means, I mean, I don't dislike her in this
Hmm.
film, and here's more of a part that Charlotte Rampling has, but Charlotte Rampling would have done better with her role because there is more of a role to it. And
Yeah.
Charlotte Rampling, she doesn't make a great. I mean, I don't know if Carmen's doing either femme fatale in the same way, but she doesn't make as good as much of that part as she could because she's just a little off. And
Hmm.
you know,
That might have been
that's
part
the
of what I didn't like about the movie when I first saw
yeah,
it. When I
yeah.
first saw it, I was probably looking at Charlotte Rampling and going, maybe I was looking at the Camille character too and going, whoa.
Mm,
I
yeah.
don't know. She was really twisted. I mean, she was just like, just
And the other, just so we can
incredible.
get into the end now, the other thing is both of these movies, they're at the end terribly overdrawn death scenes.
Oh,
Charlotte
yes.
Rampling dies. Richard Boone, then, who is Camino in The Big Sleep, it's almost, it
Yeah.
is the beginning of the Police Squad, which is what Naked Gun is based on. That TV show would have someone in the opening credits, like William Shatner would be killed in the opening credits. It was like Richard Boone as Camino would just show that scene in the opening credits as he flails around.
Get as much of my face as possible in there.
Yes.
Hold that. Uh,
Yeah.
a few more seconds. Okay, before we cut. Squeeze every last drop
Yeah,
of emotion out of that moment,
because
please.
there's curiously no blood. Yeah, Michael
Hmm.
Winner was known for the Death Wish. He made the first three Death Wish films, which are very violent, and
Mm.
this has both these Charlotte Rampling and Richard Boone die with no blood whatsoever from their bullet wounds. Kind of dramatically hurl themselves around and then depart.
Did those movies come after this one?
No, Death. I think Death Wish one is before this,
Hmm.
and then Death Wish two and three are '80s films, I believe, or
Hmm.
Death Wish two might be just after this.
Maybe he was working his way up to the violence.
Yes, I think Death Wish two has the reputation as being the most reprehensible one of all.
Most reprehensible. I don't, I don't understand why people like to watch stuff like this, like
No,
Squid
no.
Game, I mean, what's the attraction?
That's a
People,
very aside. I quite like Squid Game, but it's amazing that it became so successful during the pandemic. Like everyone sat at home and able to go out. And I know what will cheer us up.
oh my God. Here I am wasting time reading books of all things.
I know, I know.
I should be watching Squid Game and Game of Thrones, where people are killing each other and raping each other, and horrible things are happening.
We've just watched two films with people kill each other quite regularly.
That's true. Pornography,
Yeah,
actual pictures, actual
yes.
nudity. That's another thing you didn't see in the old movies, actual
Well, that's
nudity.
that's it. The old Big Sleep is making a very unhaze code friendly story during the Hays Code.
Hays Code
So of course
friendly.
it has to be fudged and fudged. So that you can't
And of course,
suggest what's actually happening. Yeah.
you can't care too much about the logic of the thing because we have to work in this romantic angle because damn it all, we've got two dynamite stars who lit
Hmm.
up the screen and to have and
Yeah.
have not. So damn it, we are going to get some money and mileage out of this one, folks.
Yeah. And it's fantastic. And
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
this other version which is much more faithful to the book, not as
exactly.
good,
In a different
has its own
place.
flaws. Yeah, but
So it's in
it's
a different
yeah,
place, but still more faithful.
yeah,
With Jimmy
yeah, and
Stewart, no less, and Robert Mitchum,
yeah,
both Americans,
yeah. Both
speaking
Americans, but
Americanly.
that's fine, and I'm happy. I'm happy to say that they both have they both have reputations as odd curios. They are well worth checking out.
They are.
They are well worth
They
taking
really
your
are.
time to watch. Yeah,
And also read
so
the books.
yeah. So I feel if we've been thinking properly, we seem to have just stumbled upon being a Raymond Chandler adaptation podcast for a while. And we probably would have made more of a big deal of this if we knew at the start we were going to do this.
I
But
know.
yeah,
Funny, we just stumbled right into this whole thing.
yeah. So
But that's
next
the way
month
I tend to function. I
we're going to
stumble a
do
lot.
Robert Montgomery. Yes,
Robert
we do.
Montgomery.
Robert
Yes.
Montgomery's very much curio, Lady in the Lake, which I don't. Do you know anything of this film?
A little. I think I've seen it once, and it's been a
Yeah,
while. Isn't
it's the
this the
film.
one where it's filmed from his point of view?
Yes, it's all subjective. It's all subjective.
Yeah.
And then we'll do that one next month. Then the month after, we'll do his brother in the High Window adaptation, The Brasher de Bloom.
Yeah. Which
And
was
then
called
after
The
that,
High
we'll do.
Window in the UK.
I think it's called. Well, the copy I've seen is called Brasher de Bloom, but that's on YouTube. But who knows? Who knows if it's actually
According to
called when it was
Wikipedia,
released?
anyway. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't know where.
Who
I haven't
knows?
checked the source of that information, so
Yeah,
other than
it's quite
Wikipedia.
possible. Yeah. And then we'll finish off with the only with the long goodbye.
The long goodbye. And will we be saying a long goodbye to Philip Marlowe? It remains
Until
to
they
be
make a new
seen.
one.
Not
Until
unless
they
we want
make a
to
new
get
one.
into television remakes.
Yeah, yeah. I feel we're in at that point we're in diminishing returns.
Getting diminishing returns at that point, even though Powers Booth was spectacular
Yeah,
as Philip Marlowe. He was. He just
yeah.
was. Trust me. It's
You go on
worth
Audible,
checking out.
there are at least three different sets of audio adaptations you can get and audio series. You can go completely nuts and
Oh,
spend the rest of
yeah.
your lives just reviewing Philip
I
adaptations.
know. Just go to the Internet Archive. You'll find radio
Yeah,
programs. It's
yes.
fantastic.
And
There's so
before we
much
know it,
interesting stuff.
we're reading comic books, and it's a whole thing.
Comic book. I just read a graphic novel called Trouble Is My Business
Oh yeah,
featuring Philip Marlowe.
based on the Raymond Chandler short story, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I assume so. I
Yes.
um I really enjoyed reading it or viewing it, maybe view reading it. It's
Yes.
a
Yeah.
big comic books essentially. They're
Okay.
fun. They're fun.
Excellent. I might check that out.
It's cool. It's interesting how
Okay.
the how your eye is guided by the way the thing is presented. Some
Yes.
of the dialogue is like, okay, you have to look at where it's connected to because the guy is down here and they're talking up here. So it's bizarre and interesting.
Yeah.
But having said that, anyway, yeah, these were fun movies to watch.
Yes.
But I look forward to viewing and talking about The Lady in the Lake.
Hmm. I can't wait.
Excellent. Me too.
I'll
All
see you
right.
next month.
Be seeing you next month. And to everyone out there watching or listening, thanks for watching or listening. And come back for more Philip Marlowe. And we promise more film noir of other
Yes.
sorts as well. Alrighty then. Take care, and we'll see you later.